Hello. We all know about shock and trauma. We've all experienced it. But what some of us don't know about is cellular trauma, and more importantly, cellular memory. And that's what I want to share with you today. When we have something that happens to us that is a shock or a bit of a negative surprise, a trauma, we can remember that in the cells of our body. We can actually remember it up to 14 generations in the cells of our body. So that's quite a big deal. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Cellular trauma is when a trauma has happened and it's remembered in the cells of our body. It might be a certain place in your body, but it could be overall. And we've got between 70 and 100 trillion cells in our body that can remember stuff. So if you imagine, say, for instance, going back to, let's say, the age of 7. Age of 7 is when we reach an age of reasoning, logic. We start to be able to make our own decisions. And this is very powerful for subconscious programming. And we're out, we're on our way home from school. And we get attacked, beaten up by some kids from school. Awful. And it happens at a certain place. Maybe it's in a shopping mall, a car park, a park somewhere. But what happens is that our nervous system takes a photograph of that. And that photograph is remembered in the cells of our body. Think about it. That means that every time that 7-year-old goes into a similar situation, or a situation that the subconscious perceives as being similar, and the distortion of that is huge, it's going to respond in a similar way. This is how we get phobias, things that can't be explained. Because also what's interesting, this could happen to you, and that makes sense. It happened to you, you felt it, you've absorbed it as a trauma, and then you choose to remember it because you think if you remember it, it will stop it from happening again. But of course, it has absolutely the opposite effect. And it just grows bigger and stronger as our world gets bigger. And we've also entered that age of logic and making our own decisions. Well, we're going to make some pretty drastic decisions around that, aren't we? And that's where the cellular memory comes in. We are remembering a trauma to make sure it doesn't happen again. Makes sense at the time, but in the long run, if that's left there, vibrating away, getting bigger and stronger, it can start to affect all areas or many different areas of our life. And also, I want you to think about this. If we witness a trauma and it freaks us out, no matter what age we are, we can remember that and we take it in. And the same thing happens. But then it also becomes ours rather than the person who we actually saw it happen to. So we remember it and we take that in. This could happen for a scary movie. It could happen in all sorts of situations. And the thing about this is, most of the time, we're not even aware. If you're a parent, you won't be aware that it could be happening to a child because you can't be with your child 24/7. If when you were a child, it happened, you get up, you dust yourself down, you think you're okay. And you might be, but also that might be being remembered. And if you saw a parent or your brother or your sister or somebody close to you being hurt for some reason, having an accident, or you heard a story which was really, really traumatic about somebody you cared about, you can take that on, and that vibration will be remembered as subconscious programming from the day you do it until the day you release it. So this is more information about the power of the subconscious mind. It isn't the enemy. It's just like a computer database saving information. But when there are glitches in that information, like cellular trauma and cellular memory, it's time to get the computer expert in and kick out those glitches, those viruses. And of course, as you know, fast track technique is the super sleuth, the master detective at being able to locate these traumas, cellular memories, and anything else that is creating irrational behavior in your life. I hope this has been interesting. I find it fascinating working with clients, and the effects of releasing something like this is far reaching. Absolutely. It can affect the quality of sleep. All sorts of things can start to change when you release the driver of that trauma. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's lots more stuff like this for you to learn more about your subconscious and how you could be restricting your own life. And there's going to be heaps and heaps more coming. I think it's important that everybody understands what the subconscious is and how it works, and better still, how to shift and change it. See you soon. Bye-bye.